When these virtues and powers are needed, He is the one we naturally turn to. Human beings may also give peace, love and happiness to others, but there is a limitation to what they may give. What God gives is totally vast, unlimited and unconditional. It is completely incognito in nature, but it is always easy to obtain from Him. Anyone remembering Him with love will receive what He has. Virtues and powers were all originally attained and accumulated from none other than God Himself. They were subsequently transferred from one individual to other. God is the purifier. Only He ushers peace on earth. He is the one who transforms the present world of sorrow into paradise. He is the one who transforms the human beings into deities, the elevated human beings. He is the remover of sorrow and bestower of happiness. He is also the bestower of divine insight. God is the only one who is the witness to time, its beginning, the middle, and the end. He knows the past, the present, and the future. Only He will accurately tell what has happened, what is happening, and what is going to happen. He is the knowledgeful. So it is said that God is truth. God is called God because His task is the greatest and the most elevated. God liberates us souls from bondages, and that is why He is called the Liberator, the bestower of liberation and salvation. It is therefore eulogized of God that even if all the trees on the planet are used as pens, all oceans as ink, and the earth as paper, it would still be impossible to fully describe His glory, His deeds, and His legacy. Role of God. Now, it's time to explore the most crucial topic, role of God. Before understanding the role of one God, let us dwell into certain significant truths which will help us understand the role of God accurately. There are three entities that have neither been created nor will they be destroyed. They are the nature, soul, and God. These three entities have been in existence since eternity and continue to be eternal. Let's discuss a bit about them. Nature comprises of everything that is physical in this world, which is made up of the five elements: earth, water, air, fire, and ether. It includes all that is matter, like atoms, molecules, bodies of all living beings, plants, trees, materials, and such other things. They undergo changes in their form, shape, size, and other characteristics from time to time. Souls, which are the life energy of every living being, are immortal. However, they undergo transformation in their virtues and qualities, from high to low and vice versa, as they enter into the cycle of birth and death. They get influenced. God, being eternal, is beyond change. He does not enter into the cycle of birth and death. He is always complete in all respects and full of every conceivable divine virtue. He is beyond any influence. God never undergoes transformation of any kind, be it qualitative or quantitative. There are two universal laws that are at play all the time. They are the law of karma and the law of nature. Let's understand what they are, how they affect us, and what God does and doesn't through the course of these laws. When souls are in their bodies, they are living beings. Human souls in human bodies are human beings. Similarly, there are other beings like animals and birds. But we will confine our discussion just to human beings. All human beings are bound by the law of nature and the law of karma. The law of nature pertains to the process of birth, living, and death, the cycles of time and the activities of nature. The law of karma is related to the karma or the actions of humans. According to this law, we humans will either enjoy or suffer depending on the action we perform, whether good or bad. Every good act will be rewarded, and each bad act invites punishment. Therefore we say, as we sow, so shall we reap. While some actions give results instantly, some yield over a period of time. Some results will be experienced either in the same birth or in subsequent births. The law of karma is very deep. It is not possible to tell which particular karma caused a particular result, because we don't know the sequence of actions we performed previously across births. But the law is always at play, acting impartially on all the people all the time. So there is justice, always. Everyone is ruled by this most beautiful law. No one can escape or is excused from this. God the Almighty is all-powerful. He is not bound by any laws, yet He does not interfere in any of the laws of the nature, nor does He break the law of karma. The thoughts and actions of human beings have wide ramifications on fellow human beings, other living beings, and the nature. Every good act gives so much of happiness, contentment, and peace within and around. Even nature concurs with these actions. Likewise, bad acts result in creating sorrow within and to fellow human beings. A body is made of the elements of nature, so when humans keep abusing body, it amounts to disturbing nature, and hence even the 5 elements retaliate in the form of natural calamities. Repeated bad acts weaken a person morally and spiritually. The feelings of guilt make humans restless. It has a spiraling effect. Due to the mundane desires, intellect gets totally clouded. It is a state of illusion or maya. In this state of mind, human beings don't realize that they are under illusion and get into obsession for doing wrong things, suffer even more. Sometimes they even derive sadistic pleasure from it and get themselves locked in the vicious cycle. But the law of karma catches every culprit. The law punishes them. As a result, people land in a variety of circumstances which are hard and punishing. In adverse situations, people often wrongly blame God as the reason for their sorrow, and that He was responsible for pushing them into such conditions. Inner strength gets eroded to such an extent that beyond a limit, it would be almost impossible for a person to make amends and do course correction on their own. With this awareness of the law of nature and the law of karma, we will now understand the role of God. There is no one other than God whom one can depend upon to come out of this rut. Whether a person asks for his help or not, those who realize their mistakes always get help from him. God gives strength to do the right actions in such a way that the law of karma is also complied with. Was God not helping all the while? He very much was. But sometimes due to innocence, negligence, influence from the outside, weakness from the inside, and lack of attention on the self, makes a person ignore the signs and warnings that would have come through many ways. Perhaps the biggest mistake a person makes is to expect God's help and direction to come as per their way, which is corporeal. It is always required to keep the mind open to catch God's signals. The law of karma may sometimes appear difficult to accept, mainly because of the ignorance of the actions that were performed previously and in earlier births. There is a degradation of humankind over the ages due to vices that are within. God has no role in this. The awareness of the law clarifies certain wrongly held beliefs on God. It clarifies that God does not punish anyone in any way. He never curses. He does not direct anyone to act in a negative or painful way. God does not cause natural calamities like tsunami, earthquakes, floods, cyclones, and others. He does not give any sorrow to any soul, nor does he test anyone. Why would he? Being the Father, he loves all and only gives happiness to us. It is irony that people conveniently choose to blame God. But the fact is, He is the only Savior and has always been showering mercy and love upon everyone all the time. He always gives sufficient strength and shows the path to overcome the effects of their past mistakes and guilty feelings. God's help and power gives strength to a person to face and settle the accounts of the past karma. He treats all equally. He is impartial to every being, whether someone believes him or not. Being the one who is inherently aware of the deepest truths of the law of karma, he loves his children, despite the fact that they have gone astray. He is aware that his children commit sins because they have forgotten their true identity, their relationship with him, and the law of karma. God always blesses with all virtues and strength. We need to get connected to Him to receive His blessings all the time. Regardless of how unworthy or fallen a person could be, God always provides them with energy to stand up again and rediscover their originality. There is no need to keep repenting or lose hope. When the mind or the world becomes a wild storm, the most beautiful shelter is God. That is why he is glorified as the Redeemer of the sinner. God is the only protector. Only his loving remembrance guarantees protection and security to everyone in this uncertain world. Whatever extreme the circumstance may be, anyone realizing their mistake and looking up to God selflessly, with surrendered mind, will experience his quiet helping hand through many unexpected ways. Many people narrate or recall how their totally hopeless condition got reversed and how they felt some invisible and unseen force acting behind it during that time. God is always the giver. God is bestowing peace, happiness, bliss, and internal strength to all, equally all the time. It is this energy that keeps everyone moving. Divine actions of God: creation, sustenance, and destruction. Let us make an effort to understand God's divine actions. The divine actions of God are creation of the new world of total peace and happiness, sustenance of that new world, and destruction of the sorrowful old world. This is why he is called Trinity. These divine actions are beyond the reach of any great human being. His most powerful task is to liberate souls from the bondage of vices and to plant the sapling of the new world. Let us understand the meaning of creation. God neither creates a world out of nothing, nor destroys it into nothing. He does not create different things, objects, or anybody. The world has always been in existence. It has been there since eternity and continues to be eternal. He is the one who establishes a new world, heaven on earth, where there is one religion, one kingdom. That is why he is called Heavenly God the Father. God only transforms the old world into a new one. God establishes a world of complete peace, happiness, prosperity, and abundance. It is called heaven or paradise. Everyone in this world is complete with all virtues and qualities. People who live there are also human beings, but with divine qualities, hence worthy of being called deities. It is God who is the sustainer of the paradise. The virtues that human beings have inherited from God sustain the new world for a long period of time. The world was at its elevated best. However, as is the nature's law, anything that is new does become old with time and ultimately ceases to exist in that form, after which it takes another form. There is decline in the status of human beings for sure. There is degeneration. A time comes when pain and suffering, sorrow and peacelessness become so intolerable that most people develop an aversion towards the old world. We are witness to some of the most heinous crimes being committed, for which there has to be an end. Disappointment, disillusionment, and distaste towards the present old world of misery and suffering leads ultimately to its destruction prior to its transformation and re-establishment as a new world order. The process of transformation is very interesting. World transformation begins with self-transformation. The transformation in the self starts with the transformation in one's thinking. It then continues with transformation in attitude, mindset, activities, and lifestyle, which have to become divine. It is akin to demolishing an old house and building a new one in its place. The outer world is, after all, a manifestation of the inner world. As are the thoughts, so are the vibrations. Subtle positive vibrations from the transforming souls keep transforming the world. Thus, when soul transforms, the world gets transformed. Ultimately, the present world gets transformed into a new one. This is the meaning of destruction and creation, more precisely, transformation. God has descended. Come, let's recognize this greatest divine event. It is said that God descends onto earth during extreme unrighteousness and irreligiousness, when basic human values, moral values, and spiritual values are grossly neglected. It does not take much time to find out that the present world is in such a horrendous state. Chaos, mindless violence, restlessness, and vices have become the order of the day. The signs of degeneration, as mentioned in all holy scriptures and old sayings, are all there to be seen today. Does it take much more degeneration for God to descend? How long will the chaos continue? If this does not necessitate God's descent, then what does? If this is not the time, then when is? When so many people cry out for Him, He is bound to come on earth. God has in fact already descended onto earth. Yes, He has descended to re-establish the order and restore sense. He has descended to wipe out sorrow from the face of earth, resurrect the world with purity, peace, and happiness. God has been carrying out this great and divine task silently, unseen, and incognito. He is here to liberate every soul from the clutches of vices. Take us back to our abode, the Param Dham, and bestow the divine inheritance of peace, purity, happiness and bliss, which is everyone's birthright. God has no body of His own. Since human beings can only understand corporeal language, He descends into the body of an ordinary human being, which is His corporeal medium. This corporeal medium is called Prajapita Brahma. Through him, He has been imparting the knowledge of Himself, the Supreme Soul, about us, His children, and the method of remembering Him by which we can transform ourselves. This is the basis of spiritual knowledge and Raja Yoga meditation. It is now up to us individuals to identify, recognize, accept His divine descent, and gain immensely from it by following His directions. Complete transformation is inevitable, and the new world arrives at its designated time. So the exact date and time of transformation has no specific significance. On the other hand, importance lies in self-transformation by means of self-purification. God says, "Remember me, and your sins will get absolved." All impurities in the soul will get burnt in the fire of remembrance. God is the only purifier. The only way of purification is by lovingly remembering Him and performing righteous actions. God is the most beautiful being, no one else. Human beings may have discovered several good things, but the fact remains that they are ignorant of many other, especially the ones which are related to the purpose of life, life's goal and its meaning, attaining fulfillment, contentment, and a sense of satisfaction. Questions like, "Who am I? Where have I come from? Where will I be going? What would make me happy and peaceful? What makes me unhappy?" Answers to these questions would require not only persistent study, but also bringing into practice whatever one has studied. This is what has driven persons to undertake the study of various philosophies, theologies, scriptures, undertake rituals, penances, and practices. God is the only one who has all the answers and solutions. Human beings need to realize their inherent limitation and acknowledge the infinite power of God. So the way to find all the answers is by surrendering the mind unto Him. Surrendering means telling God, "Whatever I am, however I am, I belong to you, I am yours." Realization dawns upon a surrendered mind. The intellect gets purified. This is the method to attain higher consciousness, experience supersensuous joy, and unlimited bliss. The vices that grip the humankind today, namely ego, anger, greed, lust, and attachment, naturally slide away, paving the way for a broader, wider, and a clearer vision to life with a greater overall sense of satisfaction. This would then foster clarity in life and a higher sense of purpose. The mind becomes strong and the intellect gets elevated. Many things that previously appeared to be difficult in life become easy. In God, one can find solutions to every problem faced. While the challenges and problems in life may continue to exist, one will get strength to handle problems easily. Even the most complicated tasks, emotionally draining problems, and very delicate ones become miraculously effortless to solve. In fact, they no longer appear as problems, but as games that one would wholeheartedly participate in and enjoy playing. What more can a person want in life? Life transforms and becomes most meaningful with a sense of purpose, achievement, satisfaction, and contentment. His divine blessings of peace, love, mercy, purity, strength, and powers, which He bestows, are always available for all people and all the time. We then understand that God is the most beautiful being in the entire cosmos. Beauty is a thing that bewitches everyone and draws their minds to itself. It is God who is absolutely and truly beautiful. His beauty is spotless. It never suffers change or decline. He is the greatest charmer. His loving remembrances make anyone radiantly beautiful. It is only from him that a person gets the boon of immense beauty of the soul.
The art of silence. Taking just a minute, I stop and observe the space between my thoughts. I move into that space with my awareness, and it begins to expand. I feel the power that lies between and behind my thoughts. It is the power of who I am. It is the strength within. I begin to see the potential of my life.